Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Costanza, a podcast about something. I am your host, Joe Costanza.
And Jake from State Farm.
And welcome to the 1-year anniversary of Costanza, a podcast about something. This is episode 30. This is where the fun begins. So, yeah, I'm here with the usual. It's good to be here. So, yeah, Jake, you got anything to say?
Berg may or may not show up. We don't know right now. But...
Oh, he's here. Never mind.
He's here.
He's just started.
I was just about to say that.
All right. So, yeah, we're all here. So here's a little bit of a confession. Today actually isn't the 1-year anniversary. It's supposed to be the 23rd, and that was originally.
It's not the year.
Lies.
It was okay. Here's the thing.
You.
Before I get trampled to death, I just want to say
You got 5 seconds.
Quick, get the stampede.
it was supposed to be the 23rd. Not everybody was there, so we changed it to the 21st. So I have made episode 29, the Mario Party video we did, and we're doing episode 30 and the 1-year anniversary today. So there's no podcast Monday, but I explained it in 5. I'm just going over time. Anyways, so yeah, we are here discussing this shit. So yeah, let's do this. So as usual, I'm here with Iceberg Mike, Stefan, Tasha, and Jay Gooden, and of course my second host.
Hello, you amazing,
Tasha.
beautiful people who I cannot see. Hi.
Hi.
So
Hello.
So today's topic, well, first of all, yes, we're gonna get to Sonic 3, but that'll be in the later half of the stream. In this, like in the first half, and what originally was just supposed to be the first, like what was just supposed to be episode 30, but I'm combining the two. We are gonna be doing a surprise topic, and that topic is the top 3 to 5 movies that have inspired you or touched you in a way. So that idea was thanks to Jay Gooden, so I'd like to thank him for that.
Oh yeah, you're awesome. You're awesome for ideas, man.
Yeah, and it was just I thought it was a unique idea, and we've all got 3 to 5. So yeah, let's get started. So Stephanie, you want to take the floor?
Yeah, I'll go. All right, so 5 minutes. I got you. So the first movie I'm going to talk about is the new movie that came out, the Super Mario Brothers movie. Not the original one from, I guess, 1992 or whatever. That movie is trash, and we don't talk about that movie.
Wait, not that movie?
No, we don't talk about that movie. We're talking about the new one, the Illumination
it was so
one.
inspiring when they fought
Yes,
dinosaurs.
with the little yellow people that nobody likes. Illumination and the minions.
Whoa,
Get them out of
racist much?
When they
Talking
made-
about the Mario movie.
when they
All right,
made
We're not
so-
having a discussion about color again. We're not
Yes.
doing this.
Yes, but
The fault to the opinions of stuff do not reflect Costanza podcast about everything.
okay. All right. So I got 5 minutes. Let's do this. So the Mario movie. The Mario movie was pretty much a basic story of Super Mario Bros. Pretty much. Mario and Luigi, they first start out in Brooklyn as plumbers, and then they end up to the Mushroom Kingdom where they meet Peach. They have no idea who Peach is, who the Toads are, who Bowser is, so they got to meet everybody first and figure out the situation. Then Mario has to go save Luigi from Bowser's castle, and Luigi is locked up in Bowser's castle with all the other people in that crazy psychotic Luma that is just negative and wants everybody to die. That's another
That
part
was
of
the best part of the movie.
That was
It was the best part of the movie.
There is
But,
no sunshine, only darkness.
But yeah, exactly. But so pretty much Mario has to stop Bowser from doing his evil plans because he tries to kidnap Luigi and Peach and stuff. So yeah, Mario and Luigi, they eventually go back to Brooklyn, and I guess Bowser somehow finds a way back to Brooklyn, and they beat up Bowser. They save the Mushroom Kingdom and save Brooklyn, and that's pretty much how the movie ends. Fun fact, Sebastian Maniscalco, the comedian, plays Spike in the movie. I really enjoy that from the movie. And I pretty much overall really enjoyed the movie because it was everything you want from a Mario movie. It pretty much told a basic Mario story of how he met Peach, the Toads, and Bowser, and all other stuff. It was a basic Mario story. Mario has to save everybody, defeat Bowser, and that's it. And then I also liked how they added, Mario Kart and Rainbow Road and all other stuff, and the whole feud with Donkey Kong. That was pretty cool. So yeah, overall, Mario movie, great. Okay, next movie, Disney Pixar, Wreck-It Ralph. The first one,
not Pixar.
Not the second. What?
It's not Pixar, but it is Disney.
Oh, okay. It's not? Oh, yeah, okay, so it is Disney. Wreck-It Ralph. The first one, not the second one. We're not talking about the second one because the second one was so horrible. My grandmother fell asleep in the theater while watching Wreck-It Ralph 2. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
So,
Damn.
It must be shit then if that happened.
That's an accurate review of how the second movie was. So we don't talk about that movie either. We're talking about the first one. So, in this movie, Ralph is not a playable, but he plays a villain in the video game Wreck-It Ralph, and Fix-It Felix is the hero of the story. And overall, Ralph doesn't want to be the bad guy anymore, so he goes to different games to try to find a different role that he can play. So, overall, Fix-It Felix has to find it because without Wreck-It Ralph being the bad guy, his own game is destroyed. So Wreck-It Ralph goes to Sugar Rush. Vanellope ends up having a race and has to win. And Wreck-It Ralph tries to help her to win. And eventually, Fix-It Felix and that blonde woman or whoever he was dating, she's in there too. I forgot her name. She wasn't really that important, and I didn't really care about her that much. But she's in there too. And it turns out that Turbo, the main villain that destroyed the arcade, was King Candy from Sugar Rush. So overall, they not only does Vanellope have to win the race, they have to defeat King Turbo pretty much. And that's pretty much how the story ends. Wreck-It Ralph accepts himself as a bad guy because he has his friend Vanellope to always support him, and he can always support her with her game. And he finally gets recognition as the bad guy, but also gets recognition as being a good bad guy. So yeah, that's how the movie pretty much ends. And the final movie is This Is 40. This is pretty much kind of like a sequel spin. What happened?
No, keep going. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is a sequel. This Is 40 is like a sequel to like Knocked Up. Like a sequel to Knocked Up, like a spin-off a little bit, but it's kind of not. It has to deal with the one of the movies I was in, like Knocked Up, like they're like the background characters, but now they're the main characters, like one family. So it pretty much has to do with like a family movie about how a family is pretty much living their life pretty much, and they're just kind of like the mother and father, Pete and Debbie, they pretty much, I guess, just turned 40, and they're trying to navigate with being 40, and they're having all this family drama and stuff. They're going through changes and stuff, and they accidentally, Debbie accidentally gets pregnant and stuff, and he ends up having another kid. They already have 2 kids, but with being pregnant, they're going to end up having a 3rd kid. And the husband, Pete, isn't really crazy about that because he's already tired of having 2 kids. Now he's going to have another kid, and because of all the work that is, he's going to end up having to navigate with having 3 kids in the house now. And like the family, they had their party, everyone was together and stuff, and everyone was fighting each other. And yeah, it overall ends with Pete, he goes on a bike ride because he's annoyed at everybody. He smashes his head through some guy's car window. He gets into a fight with the man. The man punches him, and that's pretty much how the story pretty much ends with Pete and Debbie turning 40, going through their family life, and that's pretty much it. And also the main story is Debbie wants them to change their habits and everything that they did in the past. She wanted to try to change their lives for the better. She wanted to try to change, like, what they eat, even like the kids, like what they eat, how much time they spend on their computer screens, because apparently, like I guess like the mother or something, or the grandmother said, you'll blink and be 90, we'll all blink and be 90. So that pretty much made her paranoid and stuff, and that's why she went for all these candies and stuff. So yeah, overall this movie is a comedy. If you like the movie Knocked Up, you might like this movie. Paul Rudd is in the movie.
Oh, all right.
And if you know him from Marvel, he plays Ant-Man. So, yeah, so overall, I would recommend this movie.
Like every 2000s comedy movie,
exactly.
too.
Exactly. So, if you like Paul Rudd and if you're into the movie Knocked Up, I would definitely recommend this movie because it's a really funny movie. It's a very underrated movie, but I definitely recommend people, if you haven't taken the time to watch the movie, definitely watch the movie. And I definitely recommend all 3 of the movies that I reviewed today. Great movies.
All right, thank you.
How did I do?
You did well. You went 6 instead of 5, but that's fine. Guys, when I do this, that means you're kind of like you gotta like wrap it up. But that was good. That was a good start. But
great.
All right.
Thanks.
I guess Berg, do you want to go next, or Jay? I don't really care.
I can go. I can go next.
All right. Okay. Go ahead, bro.
All
right. Real quick, look up Scott Pilgrim just to have it up. It's not part of my 5. It's not part of my 5, but I just thought about it now because I was looking over my shit. I'll start with Training Day. Training Day is basically a cop drama starring Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke, and it's really not something you should be celebrating, to be honest with you. Denzel's playing a jerk.
Yeah,
but for some reason, when I watched that movie, like things just like changed. Like my demeanor kind of changed a bit. Like I would like be more flamboyant and start yelling and shit. Like that movie was just like really good. Basically, Ethan's character Jake is a rookie cop, and he's going through his first day of training, and he goes through a whole bunch of crooked cop stuff, and like he sees like drug deals going down. He sees the people, the gangs of the neighborhood, and he's just like disillusioned because he became a cop to try to serve and protect, and he sees the cops are worse than the criminals. And it ends up coming to a head. He has to confront Denzel's character Alonzo. Like he has a bunch of money that belongs to Alonzo, but Jake ain't giving up the money. So there's an iconic scene where Alonzo like yells at Jake for like a good 5 minutes, but the neighborhood is sick of Alonzo's shit. So he just keeps screaming, "Jake, give me the money, Jake!" Mm-hmm. And Jake is just fucking walking off slow as hell. Like the neighborhood told him, "Just go home, Jake. We got this." And I thought everyone was gonna die, but it ended up Alonzo was just barking no bite, and he basically, I don't want to say the whole thing, but he ends with the saying, "King Kong ain't got shit on me," and
I've seen that clip.
And and I didn't want to say the whole thing. Trying to get, I still got 4 more movies to talk about, but yeah, it's a great film. I'm not exactly proud to like it that much because of the subject matter, but I think it's still something that should be seen.
All right.
I'll do my honorable mentions at the end.
I'm doing some too, so yeah, that's fine.
All right. Black Panther 1.
Heck
So
yeah.
To this day, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the MCU in general, but to this day, Black Panther 1, just Chadwick Boseman, period, has like affected me in ways that I didn't think was gonna affect me. Like when I dap people up, I do the Wakanda Forever thing. Like I cross my my arms. Like some people don't realize what I'm doing, others do realize what I'm doing, but it's just like a cool little Easter egg that I have, and it that movie was so well done. Like a lot of people don't like the MCU now, but honestly, you could watch Black Panther right now and not watch anything else, and you'd be good. It's like its own isolated thing, and it was such a well done movie. And it really sucks that we can't get another one with Chadwick in it because he killed that role as Black Panther, King T'Challa. And quick thing about the movie, he got introduced in Captain America: Civil War, so you didn't really get a lot of it. All of his backstory was pretty much in that movie. His father got killed. He rose to be king and warrior, but you know the Wakanda wants to test him because like he just inherited. He didn't actually earn it, so he earns his kinghood through battle. He challenges M'Baku, one of the clan leaders, because Wakanda has 5 clans, and he beats the guy. He actually spares his life because he was about to kill him. He's like, and he wanted to die, but he's like, nah, your people need you. Yield. And he ends up yielding, and everyone celebrates, and it's just. Then there's obviously the stuff with Killmonger. Killmonger is I mean, they do use him after this movie, but he probably should have been used smarter. That's a whole another different conversation about Marvel villains not being used properly. But yeah, just watch the movie. It's so good. I'm doing an injustice synopsing it here, but it's from start to finish. It's just a really feel good movie. Let's move on to The Matrix. The Matrix changed my fashion sense.
Oh.
Okay.
Like I never used to wear long coats. Now I was like, if I have
You're
to,
a long coat kind of guy. Nice.
French coat, yeah.
I unfortunately my job doesn't believe in that, so the stuff they give me is short. But like when it's time for me to get out, if it ain't a hoodie, it's a long jacket.
That is cool. That's cool info.
I love the trench coat. I don't know what it is. I guess it's kind of like a superhero's cape in a way.
I guess you can see it that way, yeah.
But the Matrix, just the first film of the series is probably the best film of the series because there's a lot of philosophy and just like what is the world really like? Is it what you think it is? Like the movie makes you think. There's action, obviously. There's the whole Morpheus training stuff with Neo. They end up fighting the system via the Smiths and all the other different programs, which they do go into more detail in the second movie. But the first movie just had the right balance of philosophy and action, and I think because it blew up in popularity, they kind of lost sight of that. I wish the subsequent movies flowed like the first movie. Like it is like almost like on some Star Wars type of shit, where it's like there's philosophy behind the fighting. Like, you know, I guess kind of like a religion in a sort of, because Jedi is basically a religion, basically. And the crew on the Nebuchadnezzar, the ship Morpheus is on. They kind of like the whole Zion people, like it's like the last dregs of humanity. They're trying to like get together and stay alive because the machines basically took over everything. I wish I still love the original trilogy. That fourth movie we don't talk about, but I wish it would have been less on the action and more on just like more philosophy. Why are we here? Questioning things. What is a soul? Like, is what we experience in life permanent, or like, you know, Does it mean anything? Like Matrix did a lot of things. It changed how you looked at the world, and I love, obviously based on the movies I've been telling you about. I like movies that kind of like when you watch, when you come out a different person after watching them.
You got 2 minutes, by the way.
All right.
I know what you mean, though. That's a fantastic point.
Yeah, that is a good point.
All right, so I'll speed through it. The Dark Knight trilogy, well, Dark Knight. I really want to talk about the trilogy, but The Dark Knight's probably the best movie of the three. Heath Ledger, fucking, what hasn't been said about him? He bodied that performance.
Exactly.
I think Mark Hamill's the only other Joker that like there's like 1A, 1B type shit. Like it was just so good. I'm not the biggest proponent of DC. I don't know a lot about it. Part of that is because they want to make 15 billion Batman movies, but the Dark Knight trilogy, that little section of the DC universe, those movies, and especially Dark Knight, just chef's kiss. Like I wish, like honestly, that when they first started, I know that the Superman trailer came out and they're restarting with James Gunn, but I honestly felt like if DC really gave a shit, they would have started their little universe with the Dark Knight trilogy. It would have been a great starting off point. Fuck what Christopher Nolan talking about. I don't have a lot of time, so I can't give you a synopsis of the movie, but it's definitely a must watch. The trilogy is a must watch, so go watch that. And then my last movie is The Avengers. We've talked ad nauseum about the MCU and different aspects, different things. I even talked about it with Black Panther, but the first Avengers movie was like the first time you had like a really like legit team up between characters, and the setup was there. You had the Iron Man movie, you had the Thor movie, you had the Hulk movie, you had the Captain America movie, and now they're all on the same screen together. Probably the most iconic scene when they touch down in New York, and you see they're all there. They do that little whip around. You see Black Widow load her gun, Cap with the shield, Hawkeye be ready to shoot something like that. Like there's just like such. That's where the iconic shit started. Like I treat the MCU like a large scale anime. Just it's telling its story through movies, and that's where it really began. Everyone loved Iron Man, but when you saw the team like suit up and form together to take down Loki in the first movie, that's a feeling that I wish I could have again. Like just, yo, they really about to do this. This is a really great thing they about to, yo.
I agree.
But,
that happens like once in a blue moon. So
yeah,
I agree on that.
So that's my 5.
So Jay Gooden, what about you?
Yeah, I got Back to the Future, Scarface, and Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is Indy 1. This is by far the best movie out of the whole entire quinnology, if I'm saying that right.
Like 4 movies, right?
Of the 5 movies,
5, yeah.
Quint.
yeah, quintology. I guess you can say that. Let's just say quintology, whatever. Yeah. All right. So yeah. First one, Back to the Future. I mean, like this was a movie that just like touched my heart as a kid. Now, I didn't necessarily really grow up in the '80s, but I was a '90s kid who was thankfully inspired by a lot of stuff from that decade before. And even some of the stuff that I grew accustomed to during the 90s. So, like, I was blessed with that, especially with being surrounded by siblings and my mom and dad who actually had, like, a fond knowledge. And they had a fond knowledge of a lot of movies and entertainment, especially music. And this was one of them. But I was actually surprised that, my dad, being a Jamaican dad, was actually into a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of American related material aside from like the stuff that he's so accustomed to from the Yard, which is Jamaica. One of the things that I was exposed to was Back to the Future, and honestly, It started because of the fact that I had like my first full love interest before anything, before games, before sports was Cars, and I was just so infuriated with. I just was so infatuated with Cars, not infatuated with Cars that showed me a movie that had like this vehicle that he saw during that time, during that era, which is 1980s. And it was a DeLorean, and I didn't know what DeLorean was, never really saw it before, but I was interested in the movie, and I ended up watching the film, and turns out that it was actually one of the greatest films that I've ever saw in my entire life. And even today, sometimes when I have a chance to, I tend to like check it out every now and then in my adulthood. So it's about teenager Marty McFly who lives in Hill Valley, California, and he pretty much has like a rough family lifestyle with his alcoholic mother Lorraine and his father George, which is kind of like a geek and somewhat of a person who doesn't have no backbone. Long story short, his life changes when he finally meets Emmett Doc Brown at the Twin Pines Mall and finds out that he actually has the same car that I was so fascinated by as a kid, the DeLorean, and how it's a time traveling device, time traveling mechanism, I should say. He goes back into the past and finds out that like he's stuck there because he has no plutonium, and goes about trying to undo everything that he has done. And the fact that like his very existence, which to me was pretty big at the time, because this is like the first movie that I actually saw that like the main character had an actual real problem. He was disintegrating from time. So I'll keep it short. Goes back to fix all the mistakes that he's done, convinces the doc that he's from the future, which is hilarious in itself. Sees like a younger Lorraine and a younger younger George, which is his father, George McFly, and convinces them to fall in love. And also to keep Biff Tannen, which is one of my favorite fictional characters in movie history.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Convinces him to stay away from Lorraine and make Lorraine stay away from Martin McFly himself from loving her own future son, which is kind of disgusting, but whatever. Anyway, so they eventually get reunited, and Martin McFly has to go back to the future, no pun intended, by a lightning bolt that strikes the clock tower, and finds out that everything that he was so accustomed to prior from going to the past is a whole lot better. Like George McFly, he's a renowned science fiction author. Lorraine is fit and pretty healthy, not an alcoholic, and Biff Tannen is still a jerk, but is pretty much a servant to George McFly. And it does end with like pretty much like the lead up to the second film, but the fact that everyone is gonna be saying 1.21 gigawatts for all time after this movie just pretty much puts a heart to heart and infatuation to movies and for it to come in both in the past, present, and future, which I really love. All right, so Scarface, I like Scarface. This is Al Pacino classic, pretty much like someone's rise to power into drug infamy, and him becoming like one of the greatest crime lords of all time, especially after betraying Alejandro Sosa, and just learn how to live the American dream by his own necessary means, even if it is violent and chaotic. And the fact that this guy goes through the ringer in order to build like a criminal drug empire, which shouldn't be so inspiring, because it is illegal, but it pretty much tends to show you that you can be a nobody and still become a somebody if you really put your heart and mind to it. So no matter if it's legal or illegal, and the fact that he just rises to power and becomes like this interesting person, from a nobody to like this awesome crime lord, this boss, just pretty much does give me inspiration to let you guys know, or let anyone else know watching the movie, that you can be who you want to go be. The world is yours, and you should never ever mistake that. no matter what path you take in life, you know, you always hook your hands by life's horns, and you know, just take it to the gut. Yeah, so it was a great film. I loved it, and also introduced me to Miami because I am a New York native that was pretty much raised down here in South Florida. You know, the nitty gritty part of South Florida, yeah, sure, but like, you know, it was an interesting movie for its time, even though it was like a remake of the 1932 Scarface classic. But then 83 classic is pretty much where you would want to go start if you want to go know about the story. It's just great all in all. And then last but not least, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is the movie that pretty much inspired me to really just go into action adventure films and cartoons, and even kind of inspiring me to like make action adventure creative works. So you all know the story of Indiana Jones, like, you know, the archaeologist and the adventurer, you know, who has like pretty much a knack and know-how of how to get things done in his own unique way, and for him becoming like a treasure hunter. And he ends up doing this for the U.S. Army during the time of World War II, where he has to retrieve the Covenant of the Ark from Nazi scientists, and also preventing Adolf Hitler and his Nazi regime from becoming eternal. So, you know, has some great hilarious twists to it, but a lot of great action-packed scenes. I just love it through and through. I really feel like it hits home with like the inspiring message that, like, you know, be careful what you wish for. I guess that's kind of like a saying. And also just knowing that if you go about, you know, adventuring and being who you are, you know, you just have to understand the consequences that come towards it. So, and I really feel like that really does hit home. I just love these three movies, especially Indy. You know, it's how can you hate like the main theme song? Like,
exactly,
it's gonna be playing in your head over and over and over again. So,
for sure.
Yeah, but it was great. I love the ending. Nazis got it to him, especially Ronald Lacey's character as Tote. You know how his face got melted, along with the other people who realized that, like, you know, God's spirit is inside the Ark and it should never ever be open. And it kind of revealed to me to like I guess secret societies and top men, quote unquote, on how, like, you know, the world's actually ran by them at the end of the day. But, you know, it was all good.
All right. So before we get to Jake's, I would just want to check with chat. Is everything good? You can hear everybody, and you can hear the music. Like, I hear it. I don't know if OBS is picking it up or not, but yeah. Anyways, Jake, go ahead and get started with yours.
So hopefully this will reach the 5 minutes, but I have 3 movies. So my first one that was pretty inspirational was Rocky, and in case you don't know, it's all about, like,
you're a bum.
Yeah, the inspirational part was that Rocky is just like a regular guy who comes from pretty much nothing and rises up to be like the best that he can be. And it's the idea of, like, you can, if you're like have that perseverance in you can do anything. Like, he doesn't think very highly of himself in the beginning. He kind of does think of himself as a bomb, but once he gets this like once in a lifetime opportunity to fight Apollo Creed, the heavyweight champion of the world, like, there is a moment where he kind of freaks out about it, but like ultimately, like, you see him train up for it, and you see that Rocky isn't that good of a fighter in comparison to Apollo Creed, but the amazing part of it is how many hits that he can take and not go down. And I think that's supposed to be symbolic of whenever life tries to beat you down, you have to always get back up and keep on persevering. And that, like, even though Rocky did not win that first movie, it was his determination and grit that really inspired a lot of audiences who watched the movie, and kind of inspired the people watching the boxing match in the real movie. And part of Rocky is also a love story as well between him and Adrian. Even Sylvester Stallone actually himself admitted that it pretty much is a love story. But even that kind of, it was like how perseverant he was to try to, get her to come out of her shell, that really made the relationship flourish a lot. And I just feel it was a very inspirational movie, and the entire series is too. Like, there are multiple moments where like he has like lows that he goes into and he has to get back up out of it, and that's why like people like playing the music in their ears like whenever they exercise or something, because they think of that. And yeah, that's my first movie that I thought was very inspirational. My second movie is kind of a group of movies. It's The Lord of the Rings, because it's kind of just one movie, but three different parts.
That's a fact.
But yeah, the thing that was really inspirational was mostly about Frodo and the other Hobbit story. How like it's these little people, like they're not like strong warriors or heroes or anything like that. It's the fact that they're these pretty much regular like little people who like to farm and stuff, that have like the fate of the world on their shoulders essentially. And the thing that makes like Frodo and like the hobbits like the best people to have the ring is their inherent goodness. It's like the little acts of kindness that really like show how naturally good they are, and that's what allows them to get as far as they do in the movie. And it really shows you like it's kind of the small things in life that really have the most significance in the end. Like, people don't really notice it, but it really does. It's kind of like how people don't really notice the hobbits all that much, but they have the most significance in the story. And I think that just matches with real life too.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
small everyday acts of kindness can really change someone's life and just change
Mm-hmm.
the world.
I definitely agree with that. 1,000% even.
Yeah. And it's also just an inspirational story about how like Frodo kind of like wants to be a lot like his uncle. He wants to get out of the Shire. He wants to explore, climb the mountains and stuff. And he finds out that the world's a lot darker than he thought it was.
Oh,
But it's his life in the Shire that he didn't really appreciate fully, but that's kind of what keeps him going. He's like, I want to get back to that. I have something waiting for me at the end of all of this. And it's the good memories that he has of his home that keeps him going. And it's a pretty inspirational story in that no matter what these hobbits have been through, they're still very optimistic. They're still always continuing to keep pushing forward no matter what. And that kind of resonated a lot with me when I watched the movie. Sometimes I even liked those moments better than the big action scenes. And that's how good of storytelling that they had in those movies.
For sure.
He's not even joking. Sometimes a good storyline is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a good storyline can really satisfy an audience. But, it had plenty of action too, so that...
Yeah, it kind of balances out.
Yeah, it does. This is definitely a lot shorter than 5 minutes. Wow.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
hey, no, it's cool.
It's fine. Okay. The final one I have is, again, I use a series, even though it should technically be one. You can forgive me, but I would say Star Wars or the original trilogy for me. And what I liked about that is there are a lot of like quotable moments that are really like inspirational from like from Yoda or someone like that really resonate with you, and it's like good words of wisdom. And even like the storyline for like Luke, how he starts off as just this farm boy who wants to see adventure, explore, see the galaxy, and his story to become like a great Jedi Knight is a very inspirational story. And even for Darth Vader, the villain, he starts off in that original movie as kind of just an irredeemable bad guy. Like, you see no goodness in him in the first one, and it's hard to believe that he was ever a good person. And then as the episodes go on, you kind of slowly start to get that storyline happen where you think that this bad man could potentially be redeemed, and he does in the final movie. And I thought that that was pretty inspirational because it shows that there's, you know, a lot more to people than you think. There's not just all good and all bad. Like, even Luke had some negative qualities, and like The Empire Strikes Back, for example, like he was too reckless and stuff. And I thought that that was a really good message that it had.
Yeah, I agree on that, and also I guess I'll combine. Hey John, by the way, I'm gonna combine Star Wars for mine too. Because let me turn this fucking music down. Jeez, the xylophone from Music Park is like blasting in my ear holes. Anyways, yeah, like I guess it'll kind of segue into mine. I put Star Wars on there too, mainly these three, like I said, like Star Wars, Empire, and Return of the Jedi. The first two mainly, I like Return of the Jedi, but I think just because of like the story in both and about like the plot twist and everything for Empire, I just think both, like Jake kind of stole my words. He's like it's like a good hero's journey for Luke, and it's got like moments that that are inspiring, like especially from Obi-Wan and Yoda, and like it's a good message about like don't turn evil and like trust in like the Force and like just trust in good and all that, and like there's still good in people that are evil and all that. I like that story, and there's a reason why Star Wars is still so iconic. Like, say what you want about the new ones and even the prequels, but like Star Wars has been like in pop culture for years, and it's impressive how like crazy like well known some of these movies are, and like hell, we're doing a fucking D&D session on Star Wars. It's that iconic. So yeah, it's really great that Star Wars is in pop culture, and it's like it's not only that, and not only has like space fights and laser swords and all that. It's got like inspirational stories, great quotes and all that. It's got like it's like Lord of the Rings, except for me, like I still love Lord of the Rings, but I think this is my personal favorite trilogy. And like I know that The Dark Knight, Back to the Future, and Lord of the Rings are objectively better, but for me, like I've grown up with Star Wars since I was a child, so this will forever be my favorite trilogy. And
yeah.
And now like this list was extremely hard to figure out, because out of all of us here, like I'm probably the biggest movie nerd you'll ever meet, and like there are a lot, like I'm not even joking. I've made an honorable mention list in my like notes tab. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 honorable mentions. So there's there's like 12 different movies that I could have chosen, but I feel very happy about this list.
Jesus Christ, Mary and Joseph.
The second movie that the second movie that I would say is my like a movie that inspired me is The Shawshank Redemption. Some of you have probably seen this movie, others have not. Dude has a book on it. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Also, thanks John for stopping by. But yeah, Shawshank Redemption. Like, if you have not seen this movie, I 100% recommend this. Like, it's easily one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. It's about this guy who gets wrongfully accused of killing his wife, and later on you'll find it. Like, I'm not going spoilers for these movies because they're genuinely amazing. So, like, yeah. It's about this guy named Andy Dufresne. He's the white guy on the left. He gets wrongfully accused of killing his wife, and he has to endure in like going to Shawshank Prison, and Shawshank Prison is literal hell for him. Like he's constantly getting like apparently he got like framed and stuff, and he finds out about it. There's like a lot of different shit going on. I'm trying to keep this as brief as possible, but like the story they tell, and like Morgan Freeman's character, and just everything about it, like it's every single time I watch it, I just like I fall in love with it. I think it's the movie for me. Like it's got everything going for it. It doesn't even have that much action, if at all, and it's got like a good story about like hope and redemption, and it's given like it has my favorite film ending of all time, and if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is seriously, like, I cannot recommend this movie enough. It is absolutely wonderful in every way. And another one that has genuinely surprised me a lot, and I didn't expect something like this to be on my top 5. Godzilla -1. I've talked to death about this movie.
Yeah.
But,
Go.
but
You have.
holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
This is like Shawshank's got some competition. That's all I'm saying, cuz like this isn't even a Godzilla movie. This is about a guy who has like he's a kamikaze pilot who failed to do his job because he just didn't want to do it. Like he felt like really he didn't want to do it, and he felt scared to die, and later on he has survivor's guilt because like he didn't shoot this Godzilla dinosaur monster, and like and it caused all of the remaining soldiers to die, and he has PTSD about it. And it's a great story about survivor's guilt and about like how like you feel hopeless, and it's just a good movie about war and stuff, while also featuring Godzilla and arguably some of the best moments he's ever had in the 60 years he's been around. 60, 70 years he's been around. I think it's genuinely like one of the best movies I've ever seen, and probably my favorite modern movie ever, beating basically anything I've seen. Nothing really tops this movie. And again, I highly recommend this. And another movie that I feel like has gone under the radar, unless if you're like really into film, Whiplash, starring J.K. Simmons. I think this movie...
Not my tempo.
Not my fucking tempo! But yeah, besides all the memes and stuff, this movie has a good message about like never giving up and pursuing your career no matter the cause, because J.K. Simmons' character is a fucking asshole in the movie. I'd say he's probably he's up there with like the greatest movie villains or antagonists of all time. And he's like an extreme douchebag. He pushes them to his limit. He's kind of like the perfectionist character, you know, it's like there's some moments in the film where basically the guy on the left is a drummer, and he's trying to be like the best drummer ever, and he keeps on pursuing that, and like J.K. Simmons kind of bullies him like, faster, rushing or dragging, just all that shit, and he's kind of like being like a big bully to him, and there's a reason J.K. Simmons won an Oscar for that. He's fucking awesome in the movie. But it's just a good story about like how no matter who's telling you otherwise, don't give up on your dreams. And I think it's not like number 1, but it's like top 3 of my favorite endings of all time. And it's like probably the most intense film experience I've ever had. It is so good. And then the final one, I had to include a superhero movie on this because it's like the reason why I've gotten into movies in the first place. And some of you may be shocked about this, about the choice I've made, but I went for Logan. So
okay,
that's a hell of a movie.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, some of you are probably expecting like Spider-Man or like even fucking Deadpool or Endgame or something.
I expect a No Way Home the way you.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be No Way Home or Deadpool and Wolverine, bro.
Both of those nearly made it, but Logan for me is like the perfect, like besides The Dark Knight, is the perfect superhero movie for me. And for those who haven't seen it, slight spoilers, but if you've seen Deadpool, you probably know what happens. But this is Hugh Jackman's final role for now, as Wolverine, and like he could have ended it off here, and it could have been like one of the greatest endings of all time. And I'd argue Deadpool did not ruin the ending at all. It only just ruined the fucking grave. But I think that Logan is like a good story about like legacy and about how like you're worth more than you think you are, because Wolverine is basically given up in this movie. Like all the mutants are dead. Professor X has gone like fucking crazy, and he has like seizures that can kill anybody, and like Wolverine's the only one that can survive it because he's got regeneration, but Wolverine himself is also dying, and like there are no born mutants in like the past like 20 years I think in the movie, and him and Charles are like the only ones left. At least he thinks, until like he finds out he has a daughter and he has to take her and her friends to North Dakota, and kind of have them have like a future and stuff. It's a great story about like they could have easily gone the Indiana Jones route and just kind of butchered his character, but I think this is Hugh's best performance by far, like beating Deadpool, Wolverine, beating Days of Future Past, beating anything he's ever done. And he got robbed of an Oscar because this was by far like okay, I get it if people are squeamish about like violence and stuff, but honestly, you should check it out despite that. And you don't even have to see the other X-Men movies to watch to understand this. Well, kind of. I mean, if you want to get attached to Wolverine, watch the other movies, but you don't even really need to, because it's just a good story about like legacy and about like how like a dying man is trying to get these kids to safety and stuff, and he goes out like a hero. And the music, the fucking locations they chose, the acting, the gore, the violence is like some of the best I've ever seen. It tops like any Deadpool scene, and it's just like such a good movie. This is definitely, if not my favorite, top 3 favorite superhero movies of all time, and like probably top 10 of all time for me. It's really good.
Well, let's
and
go.
I guess I'll just list off the honorable mentions real quick because there's a lot. The 2 Robin Williams movies, Dead Poet Society and Good Will Hunting. Yes, Endgame and No Way Home are on there. Transformers 2007, because that's the movie that got me into movies in the first place. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and The Lion King. But other stuff that you guys mentioned, like The Dark Knight's on there, Back to the Future, Rocky, Mario, all that's on there. So I just wanted to choose these 5 because I wanted to be different. And I guess last one up is Tasha. What you got?
Well, I don't really know where to start, because for most of like my sort of opinion on movies in general, I'm not really much of a movie person, but I have had some in my sort of lifetime that have been inspirational, especially a lot more recently, which is why my choices are more recent movies, because I don't really tend to pay attention to them unless they give like a very important message or some sort of like end of life sort of message, which is why I guess I chose the 3 that I did choose. I started off with
4 technically.
4 technically, yeah, but I can list 3. That's fine. I guess like the first ones I could start off with is kind of a combination between both of the Spider-Man Spider-Verse sort of movies, Into and Across, because it gave me an introduction to the Spider-Man in general, and it's kind of the only reason why I'm getting into Spider-Man more and why I want to try out the games. I'm not a huge Spider-Man person in general, or just like any superhero person, but it's like something with Spider-Man is kind of clicking to me, and I hope to find out at some point what it is. But I don't know. It's like I got introduced to those movies by a friend, and they've been stuck with me since. You made
me realize I made a grave mistake. I should have fucking put these movies on my shit.
I mean, they're good. I don't.
I think
They're
all of us can agree
absolutely
on that.
amazing.
They're both great.
Yeah.
For like a first introduction and not even knowing what's happening most of the time was just like astounding for me to see. Like I kind of understood what was going on with the story, but I also didn't at the same time, which again has made me more inspired to get into Spider-Man more, so I can understand why certain things happened, why the timeline's fucked up, why each Spider-Man has lost something. It's just like, it's inspiring me to get out of my comfort zone more. Because I'm more into like cartoon stuff, I'm more into Sonic, obviously. I'm into things that have like a stable and easy sort of base of pacing when it comes to films. But with Spider-Man, it's a lot more different. The pacing is basically everywhere. The character has a development, which is even cooler because I love when movies do that. When the character actually has development and turns into a better person, those types of movies hold something to me because that makes me also feel like, well, if they can do it, then I can. Especially more recently when I've had more ups and downs. Like, I'm not going to get into it a lot because I have got 5 minutes. But my life recently has been a roller coaster, and seeing the 2 Spider-Man movies and what I'm also going to say as the third one has just had a lot of meaning to me, and basically gives me that sort of message, like, if they can go from the bottom to losing people, to learning new things, to going out like of their own comfort zone and into their own sort of adventure, into their own role, then I can too. That's why those 2 are like inspiring for me. I kind of put them together because, again, we got 5 minutes and we don't have a lot of time. But I think that kind of gives my sort of opinion on them. And it's just, those 2 are great. And if I had a chance to see them again and get into like the games and into the other movies, I'm open to it now. I wasn't before, but I'm open to it now.
That's what's up.
I guess, well, my third one, the reason why it's inspiring to me is, again, it's like losing something, but coming down from there and then being at the end, it's Finding Nemo. It's, I don't know, it's like, it was a huge part of my childhood because I based my own personality with like a little bit of every single character. And every day there's always me quoting at least one thing or making a joke of it or coming back to it or kind of using like specific quotes or lines from the movie as like more inspiration. Like obviously everyone knows Dory when she says just keep swimming and shit like that. That meant a huge thing to me as a kid because I always was like the one behind everybody. I was kind of slower than everybody else. I was a lot more different than everybody else. So stuff like that, yes, it's simple, but to me as a child, and even now, it has a lot of meaning to me, where it's like, you may be different, you might have a bit of flaws every now and then, but you can still make the best of what you have in life. Which I think is a huge message to everybody, because some people don't really see what they have in life, and they don't really, like, they're not really accepting of their positive sort of sides and their negative sides, but once you accept it and you take like notice into it, you can actually make it into something better. You can make yourself better and you can pretty much get over every obstacle, which is what Marlon did, like he was a small clownfish. Clownfish are always judged, people are always judged, but you can still get past those obstacles and still get to your goal. Obviously, Marlon's was to see his son, and to me, it's just to be the best person that I can be, no matter what's in my way.
That's great.
Yeah, awesome.
That's really great.
All right. So I guess Tasha, you could start with this. So you've all been kind of waiting for this, so let's just go ahead and talk about this. And we'll start off with arguably the biggest Sonic fan in the group, Jay Good. No, Tasha.
Hey.
I mean, if that was something, I would challenge you right this second. Like, hello.
All right.
So I'm pretty sure you're incorrect. Then.
What did you guys think of Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
Worst movie of all time. Put it in the trash.
I'm going to hit you.
Non-spoilers, by the way. Non-spoilers, and then we'll go spoilers. So, non-spoiler review.
Oh, it out!
Non-spoiler. Fuck.
Throw it out.
I guess
did you actually hate it?
Did you hate it?
I loved it. I'm joking.
Oh.
Because if you hate it, I'm grabbing a hammer.
Yo,
I guess the easiest way to put... And that's why I'm trying to put it general. Okay, so non-spoiler wise, this film was absolutely amazing. Every time that you thought something was going to go small, or like you didn't think something was going to happen, literally seconds after, you get surprised. You'd probably get like, I don't know, you'd get shocked, anything like that. I don't really know how to put it without spoilers. I guess I could talk about pacing is fine, because the first two movies, we all know the pacing was out of nowhere. Like the first one was super slow.
Trash in the first two,
Super,
especially
super
number
slow.
two.
Especially number two. There was too many human things, and like it's supposed to be about Sonic. Like the movies are called Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3.
Not
Focus on the main dude.
my
It's not called
sister's
the Donut
wedding.
Lord.
Oh, the sister's wedding, man. We
my
always
big
talk
fat
about
sister's
it.
Greek wedding.
My big fat sister's Greek wedding too.
We always have a way to
Electric
talk about that.
Boogaloo.
Well, all right. Well, I would say this. I mean, at least Sonic 2 wasn't as bad as the Knuckles spinoff, right? Am I right, fellas?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I think you're the only one who watched that. Yeah.
Now,
I have not seen it, so.
I would definitely say like
I have heard. I haven't seen any scenes, but I have heard about some things that happened, and they sound stupid.
Oh God. Let's not do it. Not
This
this.
is an understatement.
But let's not go there, man.
It's an understatement,
So-
but yeah, like I guess just the easiest way to put it is you're surprised at every single turn. There's a fuck ton of references, so if you're
Oh,
a huge
yeah.
fan, this is a gift for you. Like I was literally pointing out in the cinema every single time that there was a reference. I was like, "This happened. This happened. Oh look, that's that. Yeah, like that." There were
Man, I need
literally
to do it
people
my
in.
theater.
There were literally people in the cinema looking at me like 2-3 times, trying to think, what is this go on? And I'm like, I'm
is
on
wrong
Sonic,
with
okay?
you?
Shut the fuck up. All right? I'm on him. That's it, okay? Like
This movie is for me. Fuck you.
it's for me, and no.
For me.
But like, yeah, like this genuinely spoke to me as like a huge Sonic fan. Like it had everything right. All the roles were right. Jim Carrey was a fucking legend. How he
Oh,
did
yeah.
2 roles.
100%.
He did 2 roles. His,
Carrey.
every single line was
Target.
delivered correctly. His acting was amazing. The fact again, this guy came out of retirement for 2 roles is insane. Absolutely insane. Like I don't think any actor has done that from what I know, but the fact that he did that for the biggest sort of like hyped film in this year is absolutely insane.
Deadpool.
Like I can't shut up. I can't stress like how great it was.
You might be going back
I
into
can't wait
retirement
to go
after that.
into details about it because I'm gonna go on and on and on and on and just go left and right.
Yes, we are.
So
Save your talk for the
that's
spoilers.
me.
So, Jake, you've been kind of on the sidelines a little bit. What did you think of Sonic 3?
Now, I loved it. Now, I agree about the pacing of the first 2 movies it was really slow in the first movie, which is ironic because you gotta go fast, but you know. So,
Right.
let's put him in a car. But
You put him in the car twice to like half of them film.
yeah, I know it made sense because he didn't know where San Francisco was, but whatever. Joe and I kind of agreed about Sonic 1 and 2 that while the second one had better moments, the first one was a better movie just because it didn't have that dumb wedding. And the humans were at least somewhat tolerable in the first one. Now,
It feels like there's a meaning to them in the first one. The second one, they're
Yeah.
just there.
now
Exactly.
Really nuts.
It's just like Transformers. Like the humans
Yeah.
made sense in the first one, and they started making less sense as the movies went on.
now
Mhm.
Same thing in Godzilla too, if you think about it.
yeah, but,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in the third movie, I liked that they were focusing primarily on Sonic. They didn't adjust Sonic to fit the human story. They adjusted the human story to fit Sonic.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
They finally got the balance right.
Down to the last
That
minute
is what they
details.
needed to do, and the CGI just looked great.
Oh, the
It looks
CGI is
better.
fantastic.
Yeah,
They look real, but I loved, obviously, like it was an emotional story for like anyone who's played Sonic Adventure 2 would know about Shadow's story, and they really did that
Yeah.
justice in here. Keanu Reeves did a great job, and I will admit, I almost teared up a little bit at a
Me
few flashbacks.
too.
I teared
Yeah,
up.
me too.
I teared
I'm
up.
willing to admit that, but
I teared up. Fuck you. I cried.
I did as well. There was that moment that my mom was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Leave me alone.
I saw her. Yeah, she's a big fan of Shadow. She was there crying. Yeah.
So-
You know, but
Wow,
The-
that's cool.
I won't spoil anything about this, but the third act, I'm happy that they didn't spoil it in the trailers because they.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
trailers,
so glad that they
kinda
edited.
Th-
Well, they edited
did,
some
but they
bits here and
didn't.
there.
But I will say that the climax is similar to a Dragon Ball fight. Like lots of people have been saying that, but I
yeah.
really, like
There
I-
was,
I-
there
oh,
was
yeah,
one
of
moment where I
course.
was like, "That's
Definitely.
Dragon Ball."
So-
That's
Yeah.
right.
They're definitely
They-
rocking the dragon on that.
That was definitely like Goku Vegeta vibes right there. Oh yeah, all day, all day, all
So
day.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Before we get into the spoilers, Jigen, I guess you did talk about it, right? You talked about your views on the movie.
No, well, not really. I was kind of like hearing everybody, but like it was pretty touching. I mean, like it was great, man. Honestly, I just want to go say like like Sega's back, man. Like
That's
Sega's
what I'm saying.
Sega.
Sonic's fucking back, man. They're back.
like, dude, they're back. I'm just so happy because it's like I'm not just a big Sonic fan as well. I'm a big Sega fan. Like I think Joe and Burke and I think even Tasha can vouch for that too. Like I just
I can tell from your personal vibe that you're a Sega person.
yeah, like
Shut.
it's just so refreshing to see like this company is just like bouncing back and like getting everything right now. Like they had a terrific year at the Game Awards. They're having a blast with like game sales, especially with
They love using Shadow for marketing.
yeah, and now they're killing it in the movies. I mean, like I'm just so glad that this brand is back. And like honestly, how I feel about the movies, I want to see it like 2-3 more times, man. Like honestly, like
I definitely want to at some point. Sonic 3 is getting another fucking watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Sure.
I'm with you right there.
So-
Every moment of that film was just like a great nod to like Sonic's legacy and like where it was and where it has been and where it is now, and what has been and was the same thing, but whatever. Where it was and where is that right now?
Yeah.
Like it was just so great, man. I mean, like the scenes were good. Like it wasn't like corny one-liners or it wasn't corny jokes. The jokes were slapping. The references with other movies and just other parts of Sonic fandom. Like it's definitely great. But I just want to go say like I think like Ben Schwartz is not like the main hero of this film, even though as much as I love his Sonic. I think that Jim Carrey, he once again just knocked it out of the park. Like I really feel like he deserves every single moment to be in the scenes that he's in. Like it's if you're not watching The Humans, you're watching Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey is just phenomenal. He never even missed a beat, as if like they filmed Sonic 3 right after Sonic 2, bro. Like he's just it was the next big thing that I was just so entertained about. I mean, like the guy is just he's here to stay, man. Like if I really wish that he doesn't retire, bro. I really wish he doesn't, man, because like I really feel like that's the best Eggman of all time.
For
like,
sure.
I'm like, yeah,
Absolutely, no one else could play him the way Jim does.
yeah,
He really encapsulates the character. Like,
yeah.
He's got the whole like vibe and the whole like
Yeah.
acting wise, like it's just perfect. I can't think of anyone else doing Eggman in a movie.
It's like he's method acting him. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yes, absolutely. That's the phrase. Yeah, that's the word.
And dude, like this is no spoilers or anything like that, but like even the human characters from Shadow's Past, I mean, like with
They were done well too.
The humans actually make a lot of sense in this movie because there's more humans involved in Shadow Story.
It's based on like Sonic Adventure 2 and Gun and stuff. Yeah.
So
yeah.
before we segue into the spoilers, I just want to talk about like how I thought of the movie. Like as most of you may know, I'm not that big into Sonic. I'm slowly starting to, because like over time, I'm like,
you
Best
saying now,
Best fucking
motherfucker.
line ever.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I've always liked him. I'm just like, yeah, I'll play his games. I liked the.
If I hear that someone wants to get into it, I just know that I've done my job right. So continue.
I've gotten into I liked him in the Olympic Games and all that. I'm slowly starting to get into the like 2D and 3D games.
Oh my god!
After seeing this movie, like, if I told you guys that this is tied with Deadpool, maybe even beating it as movie of the year, you know that I'm telling the fucking truth. This is like it shocked me of how good it was. Like, just the action, the music, the references, Keanu fucking Reeves. Like I said before, perfect casting choice. And after seeing this movie, yeah, it's up there. It's up there for me.
Funny enough, as I know, as a fun fact, Keanu didn't even need to be like asked to do it. Like, he wasn't the first choice, but after Sega saw him try out the part, they were like, "Yeah, this is the guy."
Yeah, for sure. And like the jokes were funny. Like, they weren't like a cringe fest. Yeah, Jim Carrey, they better pay him double the salary. Like, he did a very good job in this movie, and
Hell yeah.
He did amazing.
I think this is tied with Mario as my favorite video game movie, and it's just really damn good. So
they did pretty much everything. All the grievances I had with the first two movies, they fixed them with this third movie.
Yeah,
like there's one thing I wish they did that they didn't do. I don't know if it's counts as they didn't do it, so it shouldn't be a spoiler. I'll wait till we get into spoilers to talk about it.
Yeah,
but
I would say one thing, like just piggybacking off what you said about Mario. Mario is great. The Mario Bros. Movie was great in its own right, but like, and this probably never ever gonna go happen. But like, I'm pretty sure I vouch for it when I say that like Sonic live action is 100 times better than Mario live action.
Yes.
That's not fair.
The one thing that I would say is that even from the first movie before it came out, I'm so glad that Sega listened to us. I am absolutely so glad
if they finally listened. That first Sonic,
that first shot of Sonic, I was like, please, God,
that was rough.
no.
That was rough. I actually wouldn't mind if they kept the song, but I'm glad they changed the model.
Can you imagine the ugly Sonic in this movie? Oh my god.
Sonic should have been the ugly model.
Imagine ugly Shadow.
Please, God, no!
That wouldn't even make sense. No.
Shadow
I'm no longer the ultimate life form. I'm the ugly life form.
Wait a minute. If Tears was gonna appear at the end credit scene of the first one, does that mean that there was gonna be an ugly Tails?
Yes.
Yeah. They had to remodel him
to be an actual fox.
Oh God.
Oh no!
Like some fantastic Mr. Fox type of shit.
Oh my God! Please stop.
Ugly Knuckles probably would have been the Uganda Knuckles or whatever.
Why does this fox have multiple tails? Oh no!
They just take a render of a real fox, make it upright, give it an extra tail.
Oh my God!
Make him fucking yellow.
And you can see the Photoshop lines.
We're seeing a neon yellow fox. That's fucking wild.
So
and
now
give it human teeth.
We've come a long way. Let's just say that we've come a long way. So
for hell we have.
So we are now getting into the spoiler section of Sonic 3. If you have not seen the movie, this is your warning to leave right now. If you want to see this movie, because trust me, there's a lot of shit in here that you do not want to miss. If you want to see this movie and you don't want to get spoiled, this is like your 5-second warning to leave right now. I do not care if you I don't care if you leave. I completely understand.
You don't care.
Yeah. Like, there's like a pinned message on Discord or a pinned message on YouTube. I put a ping out on Discord. Just leave if you have not seen it. And there's a big red text that says spoilers. Leave in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now we're talking spoilers.
Everyone.
Let's go.
All right. So
okay,
let me get my point. Let me get my
point
point off before I forget it. they didn't do the faker scene, and I'm pissed about it.
They kind of did. Like, I know what they were trying to go for, but they
I
never
wanted
actually
it.
called.
They
Never called
set up
themselves
for it. They
fakers.
set themselves up for it too, and they didn't pay it off.
They did
I'm
set
like,
up for it, but Sonic was like,
no.
"Why do you look like me?" And Shadow's like, "Yeah, why do you look like me?"
Come on, it was right there. You could have did it.
Honestly, yeah, that kind of disappointed me. I'm like, okay.
That's the only bad thing about this movie. Everything else is 10 out of 10.
When I was in the theaters with Joe, I got a few references that he didn't, like when Sonic's like talk about
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You got references? Let's hear them.
Yeah. When he's like talk about low budget flights, no food or movies, I'm out of here.
He said that I was literally jumping in my seat when I heard
I'm
that.
out of here.
Yes,
He did say the line. Yeah, he did say it. Yeah.
And
I did want him to pull out a snowboard, but I get it. Now I'm out of here, made up for it.
There was also something else that I noticed when Shadow and Maria were watching this monster movie. That was the bio lizard.
That was the bio lizard.
Yeah,
There's no
what?
way that it wasn't.
That was?
Yeah,
Definitely.
This just goes to show you how little I know about Sonic, because like as
Don't worry, I will give you all the lessons you have.
As we'll get to in a
You
little bit, like the Maria scene kind of surprised me in a way, not because like I knew she was gonna die, I knew it, but
okay,
just something related to that.
You want to know something? On the car ride home from the theater, Joe asked, "Was Maria always related to Eggman in the games?"
I didn't fucking know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He didn't play the game, so relax. Everybody chill.
I'm introducing this bitch to Sonic X Shadow Generations.
I'm buying
It's
the
gonna
fucking
happen.
game.
Good, you are, and I'm going to help you through
Why did
it.
you call me a bitch?
Because
Joe,
you don't know Shadow.
Yeah, and
This is an intervention for you, Joe.
I mean, being a bitch is gender fluid, so you'll be alright.
that is true.
Okay, it was the thing that came to my head. Okay.
You know, Joe, like you piece it together, Maria Robotnik, Doctor.
That's her name.
Did they say her last name? Because they flew over my head.
Oh no.
They did, yes.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I missed that. Okay.
They did in that scene with GUN, like when they were going after Shadow, Gerald, and Maria, they said to go after the kid, like Maria Robotnik, and I know someone said.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
And Gerald did refer to her as his daughter, so.
Okay.
Well, it's more of a granddaughter. It's not daughter,
granddaughter.
it's granddaughter.
True.
Well, that was 50 years ago, so like.
Well, also, one thing I have is, how the hell did Gerald live to 110 and still be able to dance like a champ?
Yeah, that's the most amazing part of the movie.
I will say that dance scene I know was unnecessary, but at the same time, it is.
We've come to expect
it. It was gonna happen.
So,
we've come to expect it by now.
I love that dance scene. I was laughing my
That
ass off.
I did like it. I did like it. How they did it, I don't know, but it was great.
About the jokes in the movie, the previous two movies had a lot of cheesy jokes I just rolled my eyes at sometimes.
I found it funny about the fence one.
Yeah.
The fence is hilarious.
Yeah.
But like the previous two movies, I kind of rolled my eyes at some of the humor, and like especially Dr. Eggman doing the floss. I never thought I would ever see that in my entire life. But
Sonic did it too.
Sonic did it, Eggman did it, and then it was just gone in the third, which thank God.
Good.
But for this movie, the jokes weren't that bad. Like I wasn't rolling my eyes, but I wasn't.
I counted them. There was only like 4 to 5 of them in the entire half hour.
I mean, they were trying to pull a Deadpool with it. That was like, this is cute, but
the same actor or whatever.
The one time that I actually did laugh out loud was during that dance scene, because I'm like, this is so Jim Carrey, it's hilarious.
I think he requested that.
I was just dying of laughter. I was just dying of laughter, but like the other jokes, I was just kind of like fine with.
Honestly,
they're there, but it can pass on and it can continue. That's why I'm saying the pacing is good.
I was laughing at a lot of Jim Carrey moments, like where they're trying to one up each other about how smart they are, and like just.
Oh, do you mean the maths? Like in the maths question, like the questionnaire when they met?
That's
It's like, what's that? What is the equation of this? I'm like, what the fuck? What are y'all doing?
Word in the English dictionary and all that shit. And
Yeah,
What was the name of
yeah.
the
Also,
lung
I
disease as
forget-
well? And
I
I'm like,
forget
what
else
the hell?
I think there was one more. I'm thinking like the bap, bap, that got me.
Oh yeah, the name he gave. It was just yeah. That was awesome.
Well, so I will say that, like, you know how like Eggman and his grandpa were kind of bonding. That was wholesome, and then near the end when he's like, "You're no."
I loved that sort of transition, not gonna lie. Like, the
Yeah.
bonding was great, and then out of nowhere,
Yeah.
Gerald's like, oh, I'm going to destroy the world, and Eggman's like, that's not what we're doing.
piss
But
on the
he
moon.
gets
Well,
he,
he also
he gets
said
fully
that the
betrayed, which I
Ark-
love.
He also said that the Ark was going to self-destruct as well. He said, "We're
Yeah,
gonna
no,
die
that's
too."
that's when Eggman
So-
was that's when Jim was like, what? Like,
and I didn't he say a line where he's like, "You're not Maria," or like, "You're no
Mhm,
Maria," or
you're no
something?
Maria.
Yeah, yeah,
that's
you know
what it
Maria.
was.
Right.
Like
Dude,
Yeah.
that, I was like, "Damn, man!"
I was like, holy
"You had
fuck.
ice cream together."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
for
was-
real.
They did
For
VR
the VR
together.
simulator.
dude,
yeah.
I did a fucking dance choreography with you. What the fuck?
right?
I went to London with you. What the hell?
When you say
You
that
were
hate
Santa
yourself
in
and you think
VR.
Yeah, right?
I jumped into a tree for you. What the fuck?
Yeah, Jimmy Jimmy is pretty much just saying he hates himself because he plays the same two characters who says, "I don't like you."
Yeah.
Fuck you. This is the 110-year-old self. His fucking like rotting corpse is like, you're still doing this? Who was her?
Now,
Yeah, no, exactly.
now one thing is that Live and Learn. I'm happy that played.
Oh my god, that played like
It was
three
for
times.
it
I
was for
loved
a
it.
few seconds, but as soon as I heard the
But-
guitar riff, I was like,
No,
"Fuck
did-
yeah!"
No,
Yep.
they played the lyrics, didn't they?
Yeah,
They did.
Very, very
they-
shortly.
It was
Very
a
short.
bit
It
of
was
the
a very short.
chorus. Yeah.
Because I think it was like
One thing-
when they did like that fucking predator handshake, and then they both turned into their forms, and then
When they
and
were
then when they
charging to the
flew, yeah.
cannon, when they were charging to the cannon, there was a bit of the lyrics. Like, it was a few seconds of the chorus, and then just yeah.
Yeah.
I love that they did it for a few seconds, but like, it's live and learn for a few seconds in the perfect moment. We're satisfied.
But there
Yeah.
is
Right. It was so
I
good
did
because
notice. I don't know if it was just my theater, but the Live and Learn kind of sounded a little bit muffled in the background. It wasn't as
Yeah.
loud.
I think-
No,
I think
it was
it was
supposed to be
clear.
muffled.
In
Because
my theater, it felt a little
In
low.
the game, Sonic Adventure 2 would be like blaring loud as like you're playing the final boss. But in
You
this
You
one,
couldn't
it's
even
kinda
hear
like-
what was going
it-
on in the
is
final
there-
boss.
Yep.
Is there some type of copyright issue going on with that song? Because I think that might explain it. Because in my theater, it was kind of low too.
I don't know. I did hear something about that. Like the guy is like suing Sega for not crediting
Yeah.
him. So it's like a Donkey Kong song all over again. So.
Oh yeah, Johnny is doing slightly, but
Yeah.
only very, very slightly.
that's funny. It wasn't there was Live and Learn. What wasn't credited at in the credits scene?
I
Mm-mm.
couldn't.
I didn't
It
see it.
wasn't?
I saw everything else,
No,
which
Live
was
and
like,
Learn
you can
was in
throw
there.
it all
I think
away,
Live and
but
Learn was
nothing about
credited.
live and learn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
but-
see Live and Learn in the credits. I don't know if it was credited properly though. So it might have been like the Donkey Kong song in Mario.
Oh, okay.
Well, they did say it was like some kind of person's like XL version,
Yeah.
so that was probably the problem.
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah,
wasn't
I saw
Johnny,
that.
it was someone else.
Also, this was in the trailer, but I'm very happy they actually went forward with this. The Shadow the Hedgehog reference, where like he has the gun and the
Yes!
motorcycle. That was a fucking awesome fight.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was a
awesome.
motorcycle, and also
The more
when
you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
There
They
was
had
that,
every
yes, but,
single
like-
Sonic 3D reference in it. Oh, I love it
I
so
would
much.
say I would say the part where like Shadow just defeats everybody in one place. Tails is like, I think it was either Sonic or Tails who said that Shadow can't beat us all at once. I think it was
It was
Sonic.
Sonic.
Sonic said
He
it. and
absolutely
then-
obliterates
then
every
beat
single one of
them. No, yeah, he can beat us all at once.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah,
got
before
scared.
that line, the whole thing where Sonic is like falling while Shadow is behind, that's a Shadow the Hedgehog reference from
Yes,
the
it is.
intro.
Right, right.
And I
Yes,
love
right.
seeing it. It was like, yeah, that's immediately Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Definitely. I love it too because like the Sonic Adventure 2 reference. I mean, they did the thing. They did the thing, y'all.
Which thing?
Oh, the-
There's a couple of things.
Oh, the
Shadow,
pose?
like
The
no,
pose?
yeah, the pose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Super
the pose.
Sonic-
yeah,
That's
the
in
pose.
everything now.
The Adventure
Yeah.
That's in
pose, yeah.
it's in Generations, it's in Adventure 2, it's in Sonic and Shadow Generations, and it's in this movie. It's
Yeah.
like they just plaster it on, and it's like, hey, here's your famous pose.
Well, that and
go
Maria,
smile.
so yeah, like it's
I
the
love
hero
that.
Shadow.
One thing
love
I
that.
will say about now that you mention Maria again, I loved how Sega did this like thing where Sonic and Shadow were kind of going through the same thing after what happened with Tom. Are we going to talk about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
that
talk-
was actually
we'll,
really
we'll
good.
go to that and then we'll go to the last 30
Yeah.
minutes because I know you guys really want to talk about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So
Yeah.
I even saw a little bit of Sonic Heroes references too.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Team
yeah,
Sonic.
definitely.
There.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just,
That was awesome.
The triple
Just-
I
team
think
shit.
I like
Yeah.
the
Jake,
parts
you're
with
not,
Sonic
you're not
Heroes. It's
going
like
in clearly. Do you have a microphone?
Yeah, I do. I
No,
have it.
I'm, Jake from State Farm.
Oh,
Oh, Jake
yeah,
from okay.
yeah,
You have a microphone? Okay.
yeah, I do.
What are you wearing, Jake, from State Farm?
But
Anyways.
I did notice the Sonic Hero references with like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Just kind of like how one of them would like take the lead over the other. It was, well,
Yeah.
someone like
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
I did. I think the heroes references was the name of Team Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
The 1, 2, 3. That's a thing. The pose where they're running in that, like when they had their race at the end,
Mhm.
that is the finishing sort of like angle of Sonic Heroes.
Yep.
Yep.
That was a full on just like full reference of Sonic Heroes. Like the angle that they're running, it goes Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and what he says after is like adventure awaits us or something like that. That's the same lines from Sonic Heroes, and I was
Right.
like, "Yay, great! It's another ref."
I really feel like the whole entire race was, honestly, because the way how they were running, and like you even saw like the running streaks, like Tails being yellow, or Knuckles being red, and Sonic being blue. Yeah. So
I kind of liked it was a whole trick just to have like a party for Sonic being like, "Hey, it's your Earth Day," you know.
Mhm.
That was cool.
yeah. It was, oh my god, this movie's just it's just so amazing. Like, can we
There's so
please
many
talk
moments that we
about
could just
the
talk
end
about.
credit scene?
We can
I'm
go
waiting
to that.
for
We
it.
can go to that. But
Oh,
the
I want it.
we'll go to it. We'll go to it. Don't worry. But like, I wasn't paying attention, Tasha. You did talk about the Maria stuff, right? Or was it? Were you? Still
I
on the
did.
Sonic
I
Heroes
did
stuff?
from like a small amount. Yeah, like I was gonna go on to that, but like I guess I did talk
do
about
it,
this
'cause-
before. Actually, the way that Shadow's like story with Maria, yes, it's not exactly the same as the game, but it was emotional enough. Like when you saw the flashbacks, when Shadow was in like that cave and he saw the pod that was like cracked where he came out of, you can tell that he was feeling a lot of emotion. Like you can see just throughout this entire thing that he was full of rage, sadness, and revenge.
Mhm.
And I know we'll talk about it after, but like there is a moment where he even says it to Sonic, like you're basically powered with the same force as me. You know what it's like, stuff like that.
When he's like, "What you're feeling is what I felt for 50 years."
That hit me.
Right.
That
Yeah.
actually hit me when he said that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I also like how it showed Sonic's humanity in a moment where he wouldn't kill Shadow, he wouldn't go down to his level. It's like, this is not who I am.
He just stopped. Yeah, like you can see he was pissed, but Shadow
And
was like, "Just go ahead, do it." And Sonic's
Is
like,
that,
"Nah."
is that game accurate? I don't know a lot. Is that game accurate?
It
Sonic
is,
wouldn't
yeah.
kill him?
Sonic will fight for justice and he'll fight for what's right, but he'll never kill ever.
Right.
That's not what he does. And I'm glad that he sticks with it. Even if he was like powered with rage, he still had some like common sense and is like,
Oh,
yeah,
wait a
this is not what I want to do.
Wait,
Right.
wait.
You
wait,
saw
wait,
that pretty
just
good.
remember
They,
Wait,
stayed true
wait.
to the character, unlike when they did Batman and Batman. We don't even talk.
Hey, didn't he
Heck
kill
yeah.
the Bio Lizard?
No, that was Shadow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I really feel like the Shadow and Maria scenes, it pretty much hits home emotionally, but I really feel like it pretty much like shows a lot of like the chemistry between the two, and a little bit more backstory how connected they actually were. So I saw
Oh yeah,
that, you know,
definitely.
with
You can
Mar-
even see you can
Right.
see from like when they first met, Shadow is like I can trust this person. And he trusts her with like his heart. You can see it.
Right. Like all the fun stuff that Maria did with him, like, you know, it pretty much sends like a clear light, like how much fun that actually had. I feel that way more than what I've seen throughout the games like during the years, because like them actually like, you know, having fun or like around.
We never see that in the games. Like we knew that Shadow was we knew that Maria was important to Shadow, but not in the way that the movie shows it. And I'm really glad that we finally get to see it. Like I genuinely was like this person meant a lot to Shadow, and even though I know the backstory, it gives us a clear, like, more understanding as to how much of Maria like impacted Shadow's life. And you saw as well, like, how broken he was when he lost her.
Right.
I think he got so angry. It doesn't show, but I think he got so angry that he probably had a Chaos Blast, and that's what got him to be, like, sustained, you know? Like, he was too dangerous. He even said that GON thinks that he is too dangerous to be roaming around. That's why he was encapsulated for 50 years.
Maria was his world, and once that was taken away from him, it was a wrap.
It's like, once he was like, once his world was taken, he was like, well, I'm gonna take the world from everyone else and see how they feel. That's pretty much what was powering him until obviously he learns, well, maybe that's not the right thing.
But speaking of chaos, how is he able to teleport without chaos control?
He's embodied with chaos energy. Like, he's basically born with chaos energy. That's what makes him the ultimate life form. Chaos energy is like half of his bios.
They kind of touched about it a little bit, like during like the whole backstory.
I'm pretty sure in the games you can't teleport without a chaos emerald in his arsenal.
No, he can.
He can, but it's like it's shown more with the Chaos Emeralds, but like he can because like Tasha said, he's embodied with it.
Yeah, so, he's basically half Chaos energy, half, you know, Black Doom energy, but obviously that doesn't get shown in a movie. But it's like half Chaos energy. That's why the entire time that he's encapsulated, it's green. You know, Chaos energy, and then it turns red because he's furious, he's pissed, he's like, he's enraged. You know.
Right. I would say one thing I would really wish to actually see, because like they are hitting on Sonic Adventure 2 a lot with this movie. Like it would be great if we actually saw a Rouge the Bat. Yeah.
I see why.
They're introducing everyone piecemeal.
I feel like they're going to introduce at some point, but for this one, since they want to keep the movies PG, I don't think that's possible.
It's going to be impossible to keep PG with Rouge involved.
Yeah, like how you gonna explain that to a kid? I don't think they should do that.
They kind of were tiptoeing over that PG line in this movie too, with like Shadow.
I mean, we did hear "damn." We heard the word "damn." I was surprised about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Shadow didn't even have a legit gun. He had a laser blaster. So it's like, they skirted it.
The gun.
They skirted it. They skirted it. That's not a legit gun. That's not a Glock.
Yeah.
It's still Keanu Reeves with a gun. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
still
a gun's a gun.
He killed 3 people with a pencil.
He did use a whole bunch of like, you know, weapons in Shadow the Hedgehog. So like, you know,
he used rifles. He used a bunch of things. Like,
but we need to talk about the last 30 minutes because I had a feeling we were gonna get Supersonic again after the reveal in Sonic 2. But,
I knew it.
Like okay, for those who are still sticking around, the Dragon Ball fight we were talking about is Sonic versus Shadow in their super forms. So,
the moment when like Sonic went to swing and he just like lifted up his arm and blocked it. That was
my god! I missed that.
Like that, that was fucking dope. I'm like, my god,
you can see Sonic fucking like you can see him shaking from rage, and Shadow's there like, oh, you're nothing. Like I could literally block you in a second pump.
He's like, where are all your friends?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he was talking him down.
Yeah, he's talking mad shit.
And to think I thought you cared about them.
Where are they now?
I can't believe I forgot about that. Actually, yeah.
Shadow talking mad shit.
The way he was
you
taunting him.
talked to him, man. Like
Sonic was on the
whole
ground, and Shadow was like, "I can't believe you left your friends and then your family." And Sonic's like, "Don't you dare talk about my family."
And that moment, that's where Shadow fucked up.
Yeah, he mentioned Tom,
he got literally like gut punched into the moon at that point.
Yeah, like I mean, seeing Supersonic was already cool, but the Wolverine mask moment for this movie was Super Shadow for sure. Because like I feel like we all knew what was gonna happen, but
now,
like
one thing
both of them
I was
reached for the
wondering
chaos.
how they were gonna do it because like I expected it to happen. I didn't know how they were gonna go about it. They did it beautifully.
Now,
Yeah.
one thing I did notice is how are they breathing in space?
Sonic
Chaos
and Shadow
control.
kind of already know how to do that. It's part of the game.
But
They don't
can't breathe
really.
underwater.
No, but they could breathe in space. That's different.
Yeah,
In their
that's
super,
different.
basically, they're in the super form, so it doesn't really affect them.
They were in their base forms on the moon. They
Well,
were just
were,
sitting there
yeah.
talking casually.
Okay,
were.
well, I guess I can just say, because it might still be sticking with the games, they can breathe in space somehow.
You gotta have some suspension of disbelief when it comes to Sonic.
It's good.
I mean,
there's
again,
gonna be-
for
there's gonna be some continuity errors for sure. It's in, like,
yeah, there's
every
gonna be
movie.
something like that. I
You-
mean,
you know
I
how-
mean, the best example is like at the end of Sonic Adventure 2, they're literally racing on the Ark. Like, you know, they're there in space. So, I'm gonna guess that they took that and was like, okay, yeah, we'll just give them a fight in space. You know, race, shit like that.
Yeah.
And just, you know, say that they could breathe in space, because why the fuck not?
I just kind of realized a lot of games do that. Like, you ever notice how in Mario you have like a breathing meter for underwater, yet he can fly in space in Mario Galaxy perfectly fine?
And in
Like-
Super Mario Odyssey, but yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
I guess video game for like people were just like, you know what, we can give our characters abilities to breathe in space. Why the fuck not?
It's like, now remember, kids, you can't breathe underwater, but you can breathe in space.
No, that's terrible advice. No.
I think it's like I think it's like probably like a scientific thing going on with that because technically they're not from a world, so I guess it's like some
They are
genetics.
aliens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You're in
So-
a rocket. You're in a rocket ship going to space. It's hot in here. Can I open up the window? No.
And then I mean you got Tails saving Sonic too, like and they didn't even burn to a crisp in Earth's orbit. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
That
like
was odd for me. I think it was funny that obviously in the game Shadow's the one that falls to Earth, but in the movie
Yeah.
it was Sonic. He
Yep.
lost his form.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Oh
That
yeah,
was good
and
stuff.
I don't see anyone talking about this. Did Eggman die?
he's dead.
Um,
He's 100% dead.
The explosion hit him, and I'm
The explosion hit him, yes.
It-
But what
and-
people are saying is he either is dead or there could be a possibility because of Sonic 4. Shadow carried Eggman, teleported, and
That's
turns out
true.
he's going to be fine. So
Yeah,
that's what I think.
yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
also never
so-
explained how he survived the second movie, which I was surprised at. I'm like, are they gonna explain how he survived that?
No
huge
one
fall?
explains that. He just, I don't know, was in the water in a crab,
Robotnik doesn't
kind
die.
of bigger than usual.
Okay, yeah, so like I think it just all depends on if Jim Carrey wants to return, because the reason he returned for this movie is because he's playing two characters, so they gotta convince him to return for the fourth movie.
I guess
so.
they I guess they're just keeping an open window. Like, if you want to, we can. If you don't, then we can just say that's you dead.
Yeah,
Because he ended it
Which-
he ended it in a fantastic way.
I mean,
Yeah.
Shadow teleported with chaos control, so he could easily have grabbed Robotnik.
That's what I'm
and saved
saying.
him.
I think he
Yeah.
carried him.
I
That's
gotta
what
s-
I think, but I could be wrong.
I gotta say
Yeah.
the best part of the whole movie for me was when Shadow and Sonic were in their super forms fighting all those bots. Like, that was like fucking awesome.
That was an awesome scene.
yeah.
That just
Yeah.
reminded me of Adventure 2 when they were fighting the Bio Lizard and, you know, popping the blobs,
And they
popping the bubbles.
they did the pose in there too, which was great. And
Yes, they did, like I'm saying. That's like a trademark.
and so
Heck yeah.
I
That's
also
cool.
loved how they kind of go back and forth with each other. It's kind of like Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, you save the good stuff for special occasions, killing mostly. But in here it's like it's like, gotta go fast. Don't tell me you have a catchphrase and all that shit.
Oh, I did,
Right,
yeah,
right.
I
I love
love
that.
that.
I love that.
Yeah, it's like,
I
yeah,
love
and
that.
everyone
I
loves
love
it.
that.
I think Shadow was even smiling at that or smirking, like, don't tell me you have a catchphrase.
I think my favorite moment between them was like Sonic's like, ready to recycle some tin cans? Just try to keep up. And then they just fucking fight. I'm like, dude, this is.
Yeah, I know. I loved that. I love that. I think those are my like favorite scenes. My favorite scenes for Sonic and Shadow by themselves is their fight, their team up. Their emotional talk as well about loss, that was kind of cool as well. Because you don't see Sonic and Shadow ever being that vulnerable. Like, ever. So the fact that they could just sit down in space for a bit of peace just to kind of reflect on what they lost and stuff. It's nice, you know? It just means that they have something that they can actually have, like, I don't know, have similar.
I love cool. That was so touching because like they're actually like you uniquely connected in a way when it comes to like that emotional disparity. So
now, one thing I will want to talk about is that mid-credit scene.
Oh, let's go.
We'll talk about
let's go
now.
Okay, Metal Sonic looks like he's ripped
fucking Metal Sonic. Okay,
he's here. He's finally here.
I knew he was gonna be the next one. I fucking knew it. I'm like, dude,
I had a feeling.
In line. People are saying like it's Silver or some other shit. I'm like, no, it's Metal Sonic.
Most people were saying Silver, and I'm like, no, shut up.
No.
You know,
it's no use.
Well, they might do Sonic CD storyline where they have like the time stones.
I'm getting a lot of people saying it's going to be like CD, and that Sonic 4 is going to give us like back to Green Hill, maybe different worlds, stuff like that.
I would love for them to incorporate the time.
We're going to slowly lose the human characters, and it's going to be based on like animation, and it might be easier like on cuts as well on costs because with animation. It's not that much to like, to render and stuff like that. Like it's just easier. It's easier than rendering CGI and putting that into real life. At least in my sort of opinion. I just think it would be easier if they go down that line. It would make sense because they've introduced Metal Sonic and Amy. Their first appearance, both of them was in CD. So if they do have that sort of like plot where they go to different worlds and stuff, it would work really well.
Yeah, and I think it'll be unique because the second and third movie are about the chaos. If they make the fourth one about these time stones that allow you to travel.
Oh, if they bring back the time stones, I'm fucking screaming.
You did scream before. Like, what part did you scream at?
Fuck, quite a lot of it actually. I think I told you, but I don't remember. I told you about it, Joe, I'm pretty sure. I just don't remember what I said now. I know one part I was screaming.
I think it was this Shadow reveal, like, where he was in the super form. Maybe it was. It was at some part. The people in the theaters must have hated you, like, what the fuck is wrong with her?
Yeah, no, like I said earlier during the general review, people were staring at me left to right, and I was like, okay, you can stare all you want, but I'm not gonna shut up, okay? That's my boy on the screen. Turn around. Mind your business.
These are my boys.
No, they are. They genuinely are.
But you're forgetting one reveal in the mid-credit scene. Amy. Which,
that was crazy.
Yeah, like I'm like, damn, she's fucking badass. Like,
you know what I also found funny? I found funny that it's almost like Amy's getting revenge because in the game she was captured by Metal Sonic, and so now she's like, I get my revenge now.
I think she's gonna be like how Peach is in Mario. Like she's gonna be like that kind of like badass chick.
If so, that's gonna be great because we know how Amy's been in the past games. We know that she's gotten better since like Frontiers and the IDW comics. If it stays to that sort of personality, I'm all in.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, because she was kind of characterized in two different ways. Like one was like super obsessive, almost.
Yep, the first one was super obsessive with Sonic, calling him like calling herself like his girlfriend and shit. And I'm like, okay, slow down, girl.
She was literally like, marry me and stuff. I'm like,
marry me.
She said it in Heroes. That was her whole thing. Her whole goal was to find Chocolate and Chow so that she can marry Sonic. That was it.
She was literally a stalker. That's what she was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But in other games, like in other games, she like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, she wasn't as like
She was still
A little
obsessed.
bit.
I mean, she
A
saved the
little
birds
bit.
to prove that she was
Yeah.
like capable.
That fucking
For
bird that I
Sonic.
hate.
that.
You will hate that one. It holds a Chaos Emerald, and you don't know until the
Yeah,
end.
I know that is so dumb that she spends the whole time like Sonic. I need you to have this bird, like
Yeah,
bodyguard
she's
this
like,
bird.
yeah,
Wait,
she's like, I saved this
wait.
bird. Am I capable? And I'm like, no, girl, that's a bird.
I just
Sonic's
thought.
like,
I
I'm
just thought.
trying to defeat chaos, and you're giving me a bird.
So, hold on, wait.
I defeated a water god. I ain't taking your fucking bird.
What if at the end of Sonic 4 we see Big the Cat?
Oh my god, please
Oh my
no.
Don't ruin a good thing.
I would.
Yeah,
I
leave
would
him alone.
actually laugh.
Don't turn this into the Knuckles show.
I would
Yeah,
laugh
for real,
so fuck. Speaking of
If that
Knuckles,
happens, I'm
Wade's in here.
Yeah, wait,
For like a
what's
few
in here?
seconds, we don't see him for the entire thing.
Yeah, fuck Wade.
I don't like the fact that the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emeralds are like much smaller in comparison to like the games, but
Well, that's because the Chaos Emeralds are like inside the Master Emerald.
yeah. I don't know.
I noticed they were smaller in Sonic 2, and then grew in size
Give me
in
the
Sonic
bird.
3.
You're not. You don't. No, you don't need a bird.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have a theory about the next Sonic movie. Yeah, a movie theory. I think that the time stones play a significant reason as to why Amy knows Sonic and why Amy saved Sonic.
I
know,
definitely think so.
Yeah,
Time
and
stones are gonna be part of it, and if they're not, I'm just gonna question. Like, you did so well in Sonic 3, please don't fuck up in Sonic 4.
And the
Yeah.
fact that we have like an army of metal Sonics, like it's probably like she's probably coming from like a dimension where like Eggman and the Metal Sonics they finally take over, and it kind of in reminiscence of Sonic CD, where you have like the bad future and
Bad future, good future.
Bad
Good.
future, good.
Oh,
Yeah, you
yeah,
have to change the past.
You have to change the past to make a good future. That's it.
Yeah.
That would be good, but time travel is a little dicey to work with. I
Well,
hope
that
they
would
don't mess
put
it
more
up.
to the plot. Maybe Sonic fucks up and he's like, oh, I need to, go back
Wait.
in the past and do this.
How do I get back to Green Hills?
You guys
Oh,
do
no!
realize,
I think-
you guys do realize that would be just the Terminator, right? An army of robots take over the world. Someone goes back in time, finds someone who they love, and then try to reverse.
I mean, that's what CD did. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not a bunch of armies, but like there's generators that fuck up the past.
But in
Yeah.
here, you have a whole army of metal Sonics, and if they're all from the future, that could,
Well, they could also be from the past.
it can be fun. I think it's gonna be fun.
Who do you think
I
made them?
would-
Was it
I would-
Eggman or is it Stone?
It could go either way.
It
It
could
could
be
be
either way.
Eggman. It could be
I think
Eggman.
it's
Like
probably gonna be
he's
like a
dead,
different-
so I don't know. Maybe it's like a second plan
Well,
where
it-
if
well,
I'm
it-
dead, these
it-
Sonics are gonna kill you. Or it could be
Yeah.
Stone that takes over Eggman's technology
Actually-
and takes it for
actually-
himself.
Actually,
Yeah,
I like that first one. I like it because Eggman died, so a protocol. It's like a Dragon Ball thing. A protocol goes into effect that
That's what I was thinking.
my
yeah.
drones come through and destroy Sonic.
He does say
Also-
that his drones are like his number one sort of like creations. So that
Yeah.
could be enough to be like, okay, maybe they're
And-
enough to go against Sonic.
And
And,
Sonic,
and what's better than any sort of robot or creation that's better than Sonic himself? So he just makes Metal Sonic, It's like,
and Sonic did give him a quill, so
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
That's true. But like the fact that like Amy was like dressed up and like in that black robe, it definitely speaks to me as like something happened in the past or like an alternate reality where like Amy just knows, okay, this Sonic is alive, or like does not know about the events that's probably about to unfold now.
yeah,
I-
no,
I- I-
exactly.
I
I,
kinda- I
love
kinda
that.
Protect
I
him.
kind of hope that Amy is introduced in the movie proper as like not the badass, but becomes a badass because the timelines got messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think what happened. I feel like Amy is gonna pull off for Trunks in this one, in a sense.
Oh yeah, I think
yeah.
so too.
I wanted to. Yeah, I like it to
I
be
want to
like that.
see that so bad.
Because I would love to see her in her original Rosie the Rascal get up, like when you first see her in the movie. And then,
I think if we get introduced, it's going to have a backstory. Like she wasn't someone who could stand up for herself. She got captured, got maybe used or something like that. And then now it's like, well, now that Sonic's alive, or she knows about Sonic's sort of existence, she's going to be like, well, maybe this is something enough that can, I don't know, help in a situation or something like that. Or just use him as inspiration to fight for herself. Either one, I'd be happy with.
Speaking of like suits and stuff, I loved how we finally got the proper Eggman suit, and like
I loved that.
Yeah, that was.
I saw him in the hangar, and I think that's where I kind of like stood up and pointed and was like, "It's the classic suit!" You know, like it's the actual suit that we've been waiting for the entire time. Yeah, like that. Someone did tell me to sit down, and I'm like, "No, stop! You're ruining my fun." But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, finally, we're 3 movies in, and it's the actual fucking suits, and they looked great.
The proper suit.
Yeah, exactly. Like they looked great, and the fact that Gerald had like a matching one was cool. Yeah, they still had the betrayal.
It's a shame you didn't put the goggles down, because I know there would be screenshots of like Jim carrying like the classic outfit with the glasses, but I mean, we still got it.
You still had them, like they're on their head. It's good enough.
Yeah.
That's what Photoshop is for.
Yeah, true.
Knuckles and Tails, like they weren't really used that much compared to Sonic and Shadow, but they were still good. I liked Knuckles a lot.
Because
Knuckles really fit in. That's
in
what
case of emergency, break glass.
Glass. Or no, that's Keanu. Never mind.
No, that was Knuckles.
The voice was Keanu.
Like, the voice was Keanu. That's what I was talking about.
I think I caught on to another thing too. When Knuckles is afraid of ghosts, isn't that a reference to like?
That's Adventure 2.
Yeah.
Nothing scares me. No, I'm scared, but nothing scares me.
By the way,
a ghost tried to poke me. He got leery.
By the way, we technically did see Eggman piss on the moon. Technically,
we did, but it was an accident.
It was an accidental piss on the moon. He was aiming he was kind of aiming the piss away, and it landed on the moon. He's like, shit.
He was trying to piss on Sonic and Shadow, but it pissed on the moon.
Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch ass motherfucker.
This is how my wife felt.
Eggman was drunk. Yes, the drunk reference. Let's go. He was hallucinating. He was hearing people talking.
Topic.
Yes, he did.
He called him a hot topic.
It's like relax, hot topic.
I liked that Sonic didn't really pay attention to that marble. He's like, oh, well, what kind of marble's that? That's not going to do anything. Next time Shadow's like, nope, drop, and it's a fucking black hole.
You know, I noticed that Eggman did one final live stream. And made jokes about him having a Twitter account and having like
somebody's gonna make a YouTube poop of that for sure.
Oh,
like, it's
absolutely.
Just like a live action. I've come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch ass motherfucker and all that. All that stuff is in there, so they're definitely gonna make a YouTube poop about that. And I'm asking the internet, please fucking do it. I will laugh.
The basis is there.
It's already
they have
made.
what they
They're
do.
uploading
Like,
it.
they've got enough to work with. They can do it. I feel like they would do it. My throat's dying from talking about Sonic.
There's an idea that I had because we were talking about Amy and whatnot. Sonic mentioned how he missed Longclaw to Shadow.
Yes.
We technically never saw a body, and Tails came from some dimension. We don't know if it's the same dimension that Longclaw was in, but
we don't know where either of them came from.
What if and they have more rings. So what if the future movies are setting up a reunion between Sonic and Longclaw?
Maybe.
If they run out of ideas, then I think the ending might be him reuniting with Longclaw. and he returns to like the original Green Hill Zone that he was part of in the first movie.
If they run out of ideas to make full movies, I think that would be the fantastic ending that everyone needs. Like he somehow either gets closure or reunites with Longclaw.
Yeah.
Back at Green Hill, because I thought that's what we were going to see in this movie, but we didn't.
No.
But I think eventually it's going to just tie back and, you know, it's going to be the end of, like, a fantastic sort of timeline that we have.
Yeah, I would like to see more of, like, actual, like, Mobius locales.
It
Because...
was kind of cool seeing Sonic's cave again. I know that's,
Yeah.
like, an extra point, but that was cool.
No, that was cool. They know what they're doing. They're throwing in references here and there. They're not overloaded, but they're like, oh, look at that cute thing. Oh, look at that Easter egg. They're more Easter eggs, like if you know type shit.
Yeah,
But-
if you know, you know. Mm-hmm.
But-
Like all
but
the
they're-
signs back in the first one.
Exactly.
For,
But
we do have to wrap it up because we're close to 2 hours, and I do want to like do like an end speech. So.
All right, I got one last point then. Because you mentioned that the next movie is probably going to be Sonic CD based. The intro cinematic for Sonic CD shows Sonic basically running through the area on Mobius that's nearby Little Planet, because Little Planet is attached via steel chains to Mobius for some reason.
Yep, thanks to Robotnik because he didn't want Little Planet to disappear so that he would finish his research. That's all it was.
It essentially appears over this lake like once every year or
Azure
something.
Lake. Yeah.
So yeah, he just didn't want it to leave.
So,
Yep.
that cinematic is like probably one of the best like showings of like just Sonic being Sonic, like running around wild and free. I would love to see the movies, and they do it. They've definitely shown Sonic running through things.
Mm-hmm,
But
definitely.
if they're gonna go with a CD motif for the fourth movie, I would definitely love to see like a faithful recreation of that as he approaches.
I would just
Little
love to
Planet.
see that as an intro. Like we're just introducing it's like, oh, we're back at this location, or you know, just him living free with all of his new friends, like Tails, Knuckles, maybe even Shadow.
You know, it could be like a mixture of like Sonic CD / Sonic Generations, where you can go back to like and fight like old enemies that he used to fight or something.
Cool.
They could use Generations because it's
They
time
could use
involved there, too.
Generations.
He could meet his past self. Like that would be kind of cool. We did get a
Maybe
young
through
Sonic,
like
He
a
meets the
flashback of
cursed
some sort of
version.
era. Oh God, no!
Wait, is this an alternate timeline? Oh my God, what is that?
Didn't they like in one of the promotions? Didn't they use like Ugly Sonic as like a sweater or something or an ornament?
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. They made like a Christmas jumper using the Ugly Sonic, and they gave it away to people in the US.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not in the US.
Yeah. They need to do that. They need to have modern Sonic meet Ugly Sonic. That would be hilarious.
That would be fun.
What's the face for?
He comes in with the Gangsta's Paradise music too. Oh, what the fuck?
No, he'll actually be like, "Dear God," or some shit like that.
No,
I can
no,
actually
that's
see
Shadow.
that.
Shadow. Yeah, word. Sonic and Shadow meet the ugly versions of Sonic and Shadow, and Shadow like
Shadow
oh
would just be
God.
like, "This is what I would have seen." Yeah, it would have been bad.
This
What?
is the future I need
No.
to prevent.
What if that's the faker scene? What if they're setting it up for that?
Oh my God.
That would
Yo,
I would actually
that-
fucking lose it. That would be
Sonic and
awesome.
Shadow, it's like, we found you, you faker!
It's not gonna happen, but I would love that. That would be
I
would be
found
so
you,
cool.
Faker. I think you're the big
gotta go
hedgehog
fast.
around here.
It's the fucking human teeth.
Oh God.
I gotta go fast. The horror.
I would love that.
And then he starts flossing.
Oh
No,
my
you're just-
God.
Oh my god, ugly Sonic flossing. No.
Ugly
Oh,
Sonic
God, please,
flossing.
no.
Gotta go fast.
Got it. Whatever the fuck.
God,
I can't imagine
fucking-
that. Like that's like disgusting.
Oh my god.
That would be no, just
I,
no,
I wish I knew how to use Blender or Maya.
no.
All right, so we're approaching 2 hours, so we're gonna wrap it up. Go see Sonic 3 if you haven't already. Well,
Yeah,
you
since we
probably
talked
fucking
about
left,
it,
but
I know it's all over the place, but go see it.
yeah,
Definitely.
You ain't seen the movie yet?
Yeah,
Definitely watch this movie. Like
Go see
you
the
know,
movie.
You'll love it. It's a great. It's more than a movie. It's just entertainment blast.
It's a
It's just-
fantastic adaptation. You'll see a ton of you'll see a ton of references. You'll have a bunch of moments with your jaw wide open. Yeah, just
Heck yeah.
go see it.
I want
This is
to make this point because
It's just
if
so
you've
amazing.
seen 1 and 2 and you have reservations about 3 because of all the problems those 2 movies have, this third one solves it. It's
Mhm.
it's probably one of the best movies that came out this year. You need to see it. It's
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree,
Yeah, you
and that's
just-
not just because I'm a fan. I
I'm
genuinely
not
agree.
saying that
on
because I'm a
movie
fan either.
status.
Yeah, it's actually a well crafted movie.
I'm not
Yeah,
a mega
it-
fan, but if I say it rivals Deadpool and Wolverine, that's saying a lot because you know how much I
It's
love
saying
that
a
movie.
lot.
So
yeah, and
It's
here's
on the same
thing.
level as me talking about Sonic for him talking about Deadpool. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
Yeah.
this movie is
No.
great.
It's
You are-
it's a really good film. I mean, honestly, like it's just like another win for the bag for like video game to movie adaptations.
It
Again,
stands on its own. It's really good.
Yeah,
yeah, it's so good. Yeah, go on and watch it. It's amazing.
yeah. Pick this movie over Mufasa. We have to make.
Oh my
it-
God,
it-
please.
Not even a competition. Man.
It,
This might-
it,
Talking
It's-
lions versus.
it,
space
it sounds like he
battle.
was unprepared.
exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty much a
Talking lions,
choice.
hidden
Of,
hedgehog.
Unprepared.
here's the choice. They have talking lions or hedgehogs going Super Saiyan and duking it out in outer space. What do you want to
I
see?
mean, that
Come
choice
on.
is easy.
I want to see the outer space shit. That's what I would see.
Outer space shit. So see that outer
But,
space shit.
that's our final words.
Thank
Pretty
you.
much.
Yeah,
Go see
so-
that shit.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so now I'm gonna turn off the music and I will just turn back on Discord and you will see face cam. I am sorry to myself. Boom.
Why?
Man, no, knock it off.
I don't know.
Why are you sorry?
I don't know because Mercury's fucking horny. I don't know, but anyway.
Hey
Oh.
yo.
Whoa, easy, easy.
Hey yo.
So the only Q&A we've had this entire time was from Joey, who I think is still streaming. He asked, "What's your luckiest moment?" Getting 2 777s back to back in Mario Party.
Luckiest moment. Me surviving 10 hours on a stream. That's my luckiest moment, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it could have been almost winning that collab that I was first part of. That could probably be it
Oh,
as
the-
well. Like I almost did with the hidden block. That was cool.
Which one, mine or Berg's?
Bugs actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I'm looking back and forth, but so yeah, that's the end. Thank you guys so much for watching the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. I know it was a lot longer than an hour and a half, but we had a lot to talk about, and
Oh, we sure did.
It's Sonic.
Oh, we have a
What?
whole lot to talk about.
It's Sonic. I'm gonna have a shit ton to talk about. Okay, you have to prepare.
but yeah,
Be prepared.
if I gotta be honest with you guys, it's been an interesting year because like just for clarification, the first episode was recorded on December 23rd 2023. It did not upload until January 12th 2024 because I've had computer trouble and I tried editing it and everything and it just took forever to come out, and I didn't even think this podcast was going to go anywhere. And so like I'm just happy that everybody, like, for those watching and sticking around, and like we've gained like 3 guests on there, like, because it was originally supposed to be me, Jake, and Berg, and then Jay Gooden hopped on, and Tasha and Stefan, and we just
I was dragged here, but I still had fun.
Dragged here.
Get your ass in
Right?
I was asked to be on one podcast episode, and I guess that was enough for me to stay.
here. That was your audition.
Sure.
Oh, you thought it
Yeah,
was
you
only
made it.
one?
You made the cut.
You made the
I
cut.
got him on the spot. Let's go.
You delivered the
Oh.
cheesecake.
You thought it was one? No, it's all.
I literally did. I was like,
You
okay,
gotta
I'll
be-
take
you
one
gotta be-
podcast episode. That's fine. Next thing you know, hey, you want to be a reoccurring part of it? And I was like, okay, sure. Next thing I get
That
asked to
was
be a
an
co-host,
ask.
and I'm like,
I didn't
oh,
fucking
Yeah.
drag you in.
You dragged her in. You told her you're gonna be doing this shit till you 90.
Yep, that's exactly how it went.
I didn't think we were gonna get that information out, but okay.
Hey, okay. I was trying to make a joke.
I'm playing.
Joe.
Even though
No, you gonna be until you're 90 now.
even
that-
though I
that-
got
by that
asked
point-
to, it was genuinely like one of the best things to be asked. So I'm happy for it, and I'm honored that I can say that I'm a co-host of a podcast. I don't think that's ever happened, and I didn't think that was gonna happen. So yeah, it's cool to be a big part of something. That's what I would say.
Thank you.
It's a
Appreciate it.
podcast about
No,
something.
thank you. Anyway,
It is a podcast about something.
That is
Wow.
true.
it is.
It has.
It
been
is,
2
yes.
hours.
It
Jeez.
really is.
I know. Yeah. Sorry, Jake. I know you gotta go to bed. So, I guess. Yeah. I guess since people might have wanted to ask this, like the reason why I called it Costanza podcast about something is because I kind of wanted to. I guess I just kind of wanted to make it like a Seinfeld reference, sort of. You know how it's like Seinfeld, a show about nothing, but it's Costanza, a podcast about
Oh.
something. So it's kind of like that. And I wanted to kind of have my last name be kind of like, because Costanza, George is like one of the most popular sitcom characters of all time, like up there with Michael Scott and Chandler from Friends. But I think it's like, yeah, I just wanted to capitalize on it and just kind of say like, hey, like, it's a cute little thing that I made for like, because I had no idea what I wanted to call this podcast. Like, it was like,
I can see why, because mostly every single week it's about something new. Like it's not a reoccurring theme. It's
Right,
whatever
exactly.
happens around the world. So I think
And-
it's great.
yeah, it's basically kind of like modern movie, pop culture talk and all that. Like, just anything that's
And
new
just
that's
the
coming
classic
out.
bullshit.
Yeah, just yeah. As the podcast that inspired me before would say, it's like movies, TV shows, and a bunch of nonsense. So yeah, it's like
There you
Basically,
go. Yeah.
so.
No, I like
I'm not
that. I
stealing their
never knew,
catchphrase,
and
but-
I'm glad that I
You're
know
not.
it now.
But yeah, thank you all for like I know Stefan had to go to bed, but I appreciate him and all of you guys for sticking with me and being co-hosts on this podcast. It would not have been the same without you guys.
Oh, you're very
Aw.
welcome.
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
know, that's so sentimental.
Yo, stop cutting onions,
We
bitch.
appreciate you too, man. Thanks for having us, man. Every single week.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Motherfucker
Yeah,
cutting
thank
onions
you.
and shit. Stop cutting onions.
Put the bowl away.
Jake,
Put
you
the
got anything
blade
to say
down.
Since you're basically a host as well.
I'm happy that you convinced me to do this with you. It's a lot of fun discussing movies and just random stuff. And yeah, I'm really happy about it.
I'm happy you're here, dude. Like I said, it would not be the same without you, and I hope you don't mind too much that you're kind of a host now. So,
No, I'm fine. I mean, like
because I wanted to include you more. so.
I've missed a few episodes. That's.
I know, that's fine. But I'm just
I'm
like,
probably the
go ahead.
I'm
Sorry.
probably the most regularly occurring.
I think besides me, yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, you better be the most occurring. I mean, it's your
You're a fucking
it's your
podcast.
thing.
Don't be in Knuckles and make the second side character the main character.
True. Very true.
That's why Jake wasn't a host until now. But anyways, so
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
you're the weight of the group.
You gonna take that? You gonna take that?
But no,
Like, yo, I'm tired. Fuck
I appreciate it anyways. So like I do like this live format better than the editing video one, because like the editing video one, like some of it wasn't even that good. Like there were some episodes where like the mic sounded far away because it fucking was, and like I just had trouble editing it and just kind of looking back at all this shit. And we had some guests on there that I'm like, okay, no, probably not. And it was kind of like whenever the fuck we had time and all that. Like it was not every Saturday at 11 p.m. It wasn't until very recently that we just decided, you know what, let's make it a reoccurring thing. Let's make it like a schedule every week and all that. And we're still working on. It's a work in progress. And what I'm hoping for 2025 is that we can do this. Well, not weekly, but I'm hoping we can do this like every Saturday night. Same time, so and make it like hour and a half ish. So there's just kind of like a special episode, so there's a reason why it came out longer than an hour and a half. But I guess for the remainder of the year, expect one more podcast this year, because we're going to be doing the best and worst of 2024 in terms of movies, and I guess we can put shows in there too, since there's some that are out that have been really good. But yeah, I could just pull up a list of the movies that we've seen. I'm not gonna put up like fucking pictures or anything. That'll take a very long time. Like it took me forever. It's just there's like I think like 30 fucking pictures of everything we've talked about. So no, I'm not that skilled with AI, but still, like I don't want to waste like data putting like a fucking picture of Deadpool on there. So like I might just scroll through everything and just say like, hey, what you got? Like, you got any opinions about this? And we're not gonna be discussing it like entirely. Like, because especially with like Sonic and Deadpool, because we kind of talked about it and stuff, but like if there's stuff that we haven't talked about in a while, or if there's stuff we haven't talked about period, we can just discuss a little bit about that, because it'll be a long episode.
Why don't you pull up like a top 20 like list of like the grossing films, and we just discuss that?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we could, but I was thinking of what we did last year with all of them, like just kind of going from January to December, seeing like, hey, have you seen this? We want to talk about it and all that, and then I'm debating, because I liked how we did that, and like hopefully it won't run too long, but I'm hoping that like I don't know if we should do like any awards at the end or anything. If there is, we might only put like fucking 2 or something, like best movie, worst movie. All that shit, best cameo, so all that.
I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah, and then the first episode of 2025 is going to be the most anticipated movies of 2025. So that's going to be another special episode where we're just going to like jump forward and see like, hey, what's coming out that we're looking forward to, and then after that, it's like back to our regularly scheduled program. Like we're going to be discussing all the stuff that came out recently. Jake and I might discuss a show that we finished recently if he wants to talk about it.
I guess.
Well, yeah, we'll discuss it, but we'll talk about it behind the scenes. But yes, I'm aware about Stranger Things and like recent Marvel stuff. We will talk about that in future episodes, but right now we're just gonna focus on the year that ends and the year that's about to begin. So those will be the next 2 episodes, and then after that, hopefully it'll be a weekly series of us just discussing movies, shows, games, and a bunch of bullshit. That's our new slogan. So
you're on your year in review.
Pretty much, yeah.
Basically,
there's one thing that none of us mentioned, and I forgot to mention it about the Sonic movie. They had your girl Jessica Jones in the movie.
Oh yeah. Kirsten Ritter.
Ritter was in the movie.
Yeah, I remember
that show was crazy. I was like, yo, wait a minute, why Jessica? Is she about to punch somebody?
I mean, Tom definitely was getting punched because of her, but that's another.
I pointed to Joe. I'm like, hey, Joe, it's just.
Yeah, I saw that.
What was the reaction to that?
I knew she was in the movie, so I'm like, yeah.
I didn't, because I didn't look at any trailers.
I didn't either. I was like,
she wasn't in the trailer, but I did see a leaked photo of her. I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm like, yes.
I was like, oh, cool. This is good.
She didn't do shit, but anyways,
She really didn't, but it was just cool to see her.
But anyways, so yeah, I don't want to make this too long of a podcast, but thank you guys so much for watching. I got nothing else to say. If I don't see you guys later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and I'll see you guys next week for the final episode of 2024. Have a good one,
Jesus.
guys.
Wow.
Right,
Thanks for hearing us ramble about things. Goodbye.
peace.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.